Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brian. I'm here with Israel, Vince, and Eric. We'd like to welcome Eric. He's been a buddy of mine for a long time, since like 20 years, since I worked at Blue Meanie. He was a great customer. Yeah, probably maybe a little bit more. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of reviews with us on the Metal Swap Meet website.
Yeah, brand new writer. I've written a couple reviews already, and it's going good.
Yeah, you enjoying it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, his reviews are pretty killer.
Yeah,
Making mine look like shit, to be honest. But today what we're doing is our just our personal top 10s for metal albums this year. So I'll just jump into it, start it off. And I'll start with my number 10. My number 10 is Panopticon. And again, Into the Light. If you don't know Panopticon, there's no band that really sounds like them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They mix like Americana, bluegrass, and black metal. So give that a listen. That's my number 10. I'm going to go through this kind of quick, otherwise we'll take forever. The new Exodus is number 9. Persona Non Grata, 7 years after the last album. It's pretty good. Really varying with the tempos and stuff. Good return to form, in my opinion. No, my number 8 is Flotsam and Jetsam, Blood in the Water. Another thrash, old school band. And kind of overall, I've kind of felt like this year was very old band released.
Yeah.
I looked at it and it was like all these bands at least 30 years old releasing new releases this year. And Flotsam falls into that, and it's a great thrash album.
It seems like a lot of dark albums to me too. A lot of albums seem dark.
Dark, yeah. Number 7 is a dark album, 1914.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Where Fear and Weapons Meet, which is a World War I themed band.
Yep.
And reviewed by Todd on our site. So give that a listen or give that a read because his review is really awesome.
Yes.
So that was my number 7. Number 6 is the band Worm. And that's a pretty badass album. It's very eerie and swampy. Hard to give it a say what kind of music it is. I would say it's kind of doomy death metal with eerie keyboards.
Yes. I mean, maybe talk about it a little later, but
Yeah.
it gives me if you remember Disembowelment,
Mm-hmm.
that very dungeon kind of dank
Mm-hmm.
and dissonant.
And just dripping with reverb.
Yes.
So that was Worm, the album's for Everglade. And that badass album cover, of course. My number 5 I really enjoyed is Unto Others, their new album Strength. I really liked Mana, their first full length, and Strength is another of this kind of like goth rock / metal mix with tons of Tom G Warrior like growls and stuff like that. Yeah. So that was number 5. Number 4 is Stormkeep, the full length Tales of Othertime. I almost said Overtime. Yeah, we're in OT. So if you haven't heard the new Stormkeep, it's very 90s black metal sounding. Jamil Borgir, Emperor, Old Man's Child.
Old Man's Child, yeah.
Yeah, give that a listen. Number 3 for me is Tribulation,
Okay.
Where the Doom Becomes Sound. And this is kind of like that, like polished, melodic death black metal, kind of like Dissection sounding. What it reminds me a lot of. Number 2 for me is Frozen Soul, Crypt of Ice, Bolt Thrower Worship, who I just got to see at Soda Bar, and that was pretty badass. My number 1, the new Halloween.
Amazing album.
Had to go with it. It's I can't believe this band put it out this good this late in their career. It's impressive.
Do you think Kai Hansen would be responsible for that?
It could be his riffing. Kiski's vocals is like as good as ever. Pretty amazing. Yeah, I'm still listening to that album, and it came out like middle of the year. Okay, that's all I got. You want to go next, Eric?
Yeah.
All right.
So I didn't list mine like Gary did, so I'm just gonna.
You're just gonna go through?
I'm gonna go through it.
Okay.
All right. So first is I'm gonna butcher this name, but the name's called Ruadh, or spelled Ruadh. Irish band, black metal, very folky.
Okay.
So if Panopticon would be the American black metal, Ruadh would be the Irish
Okay.
black metal.
Okay.
So where Panopticon has bluegrass elements, Ruadh has bagpipes and traditional Irish music into his black metal.
Oh, sweet.
So very, very folky, very earthy.
A one-man band as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, yes, but he does have help on the new album.
Okay.
Next is Frozen Soul, Crypt of Ice. So I got my bolt thrower fix. Next is a French band called Seth. And their album, I'm going to butcher this name, Le Monsieur du Christ. Brutally fast. I loved this album.
Okay.
So if you like that, just non-step early era
Marduk,
early era Marduk, yes.
Okay.
My next is 1914. Just awesome album. Just please listen to that album and read the lyrics as you're listening to it.
Yeah, it really paints like a picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, my notes say the art of storytelling through music.
Yeah.
Next is we're gonna slow it down. So Monolord.
Oh, that's slowing it way down.
Yeah, slowing it way down. So their new album, Your Time to Shine, that stoner, very Black Sabbath-y type of sound. Next is Oxygen Destroyer. Their album Sinister Monstrosity, spawned by the unfathomable ignorance of humankind. It's
a long one.
Yes, the album's very short. It's just over 29 minutes.
Oh,
it's very short, but very fast death metal, like very, very thrashy type of death metal. Oxygen Destroyer, I believe they're from don't quote me on that. I believe they're from Ohio, but they are their theme band, and a lot of their music and all of their songs are based off of kaiju and Japanese horror, Japanese monster films.
Okay.
Oh, that's sweet. That's a cool theme.
Next is Stormkeep. And this was the album that I had the most fun with.
Stormkeep
this year, yes.
You gave it a full 5 out of 5 stars.
5-star banger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to ruin anything in case you want to read it. It's still a great read.
Yes. It is awesome. It brought me back to those days of when I discovered Emperor for the first time.
It's kind of odd that style has been lacking for a while.
Yeah, it's just that that symphonic sound is kind of gone.
You're right. Yeah.
So I'm glad to see that return.
Sure.
Next is Worm, Everglade. Just that dankest, just dripping ooze. Next is also Halloween.
Okay.
And then my last one is Auto Nostalgia Ataraxia.
Okay.
Another, I believe it's French too. Melancholic black metal band. If Catatonia, like early Catatonia, continued on the black metal vein, that is what it would sound like.
That sounds awesome.
So that's my top 10.
Cool, good list.
Cool. Well, that guy's got some good ones so far. A lot of stuff I haven't even heard of yet.
Yeah,
me neither. I'm gonna have to check this episode out so I can
do some
check them
homework.
some homework. I'm like,
You're gonna have to write these lists on the video and somewhere.
Yeah.
On the...
I think all our lists will be posted on the website.
Yeah. So mine and Eric's are already written. We just haven't posted them.
Yeah.
But I'll post them all on the website.
Cool. So going off no particular order for mine. I did hear a lot of music. Some of those which I should have put on my top 10 that you guys have already mentioned, but I kind of just got lost in them. The first one I got here is Archspire, Canadian tech death metal band. Bleed the Future was the new album. They produced quite possibly the best music video of the year.
that is a video.
The Drone Corpse Aviator. Amazing video. If you guys get a chance, definitely check it out. Halloween, of course. Love the album. Love the comeback from Halloween. The 3 vocal attack was awesome with 3 guitars as well. Everything went right with that album, and I'm really glad that a veteran band like that, is back with it. Cannibal Corpse, Violence Unimagined. Nothing really impressive, nothing really out of the norm, but it is Cannibal Corpse hitting you with fucking Cannibal Corpse. So I really dug the album. Classic Cannibal Corpse. One of the albums that kind of went unnoticed was Asphyx, the Crossroads, that came out early in the year.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a very punishing death metal album. What we would expect from Asphyx. 1914, Where Fear and Weapons Meet. Probably my favorite album of the year. Fast in some parts, black metal here, doom here, and the storyline, the whole thing. Reading the liner notes and all that was just really, really cool. And who knew so much about World War One? Shit. Ninkar Sag, The Dread March of Solemn Gods. Basically, they section worship black metal at its finest. Really dug that album. Number 7, Witherfall, Course of Autumn. One of my favorite albums of the year as well. Melodic, dark, catchy as hell. Really dug this latest offering from Witherfall. Number 8, Silver Talon. Very reminiscent of Nevermore. Silver Talon, Decadence and Decay. Very reminiscent of Nevermore. Queensryche. If you dig that type of music, definitely check these guys out. It's their best album to date.
That was a good one. I forgot about
that was a real good one. Yeah. From Spain, Angelus Apatrida, as a self-titled album. Very thrashy with political messages. Reminds me a little bit of older Testament, Exodus, kind of like in that vein, but a little faster. And then number 10, Disaster, one of the other ones that kind of fell by the wayside. That Churches Without Saints, classic Disaster from Germany. Really dug that album, and I could have thrown a couple more in there, but we said 10, so 10 it'll be.
I have honorable mentions that I mentioned. I'll put in.
There you go.
At the bottom of mine. But yeah, good list.
There's a lot of albums out this year, so it was a lot to pick from.
Tons, yeah.
There was more than I expected. I thought I was only going to come up with 5, but I came up with 10.
All right, what do you got, B?
So I got number 10 was actually a local band. It was Cavebastard with their new album Wrath of the Bastard.
Yeah.
Thought it was surprisingly, it was pretty different and original, heavy. It's atmospheric, got some technical stuff, a lot of different atmospheres and moods. Check them out if you haven't already. Got members of a Cattle Decapitation or Ex-Cattle and Damnation and Gut Rot. And number 9 was a Stargazer from Australia, the Psychic Secretions. I don't know if you guys heard them, but they're a really technical, kind of a strange, kind of thrashy death metal band or something. Really cool bass player. Check them out if you haven't already. It's their newer album. Number 8, I got a UK band, Code, with Fly Blown Prince. I don't know if you guys heard Code. This is their 5th album. They're kind of a weird kind of futuristic black metal band or something, kind of like a Dodd Heimsgard or a Thorns or something like that.
It's Code with the brackets?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that that new album's pretty good. Number 7, I got Unleashed with No Sign of Life. For one of the older Swedish bands, I think they're still one of the ones that keep going and still doing a good job.
Real consistent bands.
Yeah, it's got really cool solos, especially in melody. The production's kind of weird, but after a couple songs, it's pretty cool production. Check it out. Number 6, I got Cynic, the Ascension Codes. I like the Focus a lot, and then I kind of was a little bit hit and miss for me, but this newer one's reminds me a little bit more of something, but I don't know, some kind of atmospheric, just the whole production of it's just weird, and it's not like a typical metal album. Like the production of it's really reverby and like weird. It's really good. I liked it a lot.
Okay.
That's one of their first,
so it's one
first
of
album
those,
without
you
the
get multiple
songwriter.
listens out of it, you detect different things.
Yeah, it's not like such as robotic and like weird. It's kind of was more soundscape like I thought on this one, which I liked. And then number 5, I had Door to Do from Romania with their new album Har. I don't know if you guys heard them. That has some of the guys from Nagura Bunget and Sin Carnate. It's a kind of folkish Romanian kind of black metal, kind of slower down, maybe mixed with some, like I said, some folkish stuff, maybe like Enslaved or something a little bit. I liked them a lot. I would recommend them. And I got number 4. You guys went with Halloween. I went with the Iron Maiden, even though I think it's too long of an album. I would probably take 2 or 3 songs off of there.
I thought you were going to say hours.
It took me a while to kind of listen to it, but now that I've been playing it more and more, I've been kind of starting to like it more.
It's a lot to take in.
Yeah, it's more than I would like to listen to on an album. Like I said, they could have cut some songs off. I think it would have been better, but after you go through it, it's a pretty heavy and unique album, probably better than the last 2 that they put out. Number 3, the Unanimated, I think it just came out, the Victory in Blood. It's another old Swedish band. I think this one was pretty good. It's really dark and melodic, kind of more like their first album, In the Forest of the Dreaming Dead. Where the last one was kind of more like a modern black metal. This one kind of feels more like an old school kind of black metal, Swedish black metal album. Really good. I liked it. Number 2, probably the best death metal album of the year for me was Pestilence.
Oh, yeah. A new one.
Exitum or whatever it's called. I don't know.
I don't think I've heard it.
Yeah, it's fucking great. It's really heavy. It's old school sounding, but it's modern sounding too. It's technical, but not so technical where you can't get into it. It's got some cool solos and really good production and drumming, and I recommend that one for sure.
Cool.
And number 1 for me was the newest and the final album from Necromantia. It's To the Depths We Descend. That's their last album that the Magus recorded. It's a tribute to Baron von Blood. Necromantia members from Thou Art Lord and Rotting Christ and Raven Cult. I don't know if you guys have heard them before. Usually they record with like 8-string bass and 4-string bass and no guitars. I think they have some guitars on this album. That's killer release. It's really dark and a kind of occultic black metal. One of my favorite Greek bands, and probably one of the better albums they put out in a while.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good list. Do you have anything that you like that you didn't put on your list that was just didn't rank up there?
I think like Vince mentioned already, Cavebastard was definitely one of those that could have definitely made the list if I had a top 20. Really, really awesome new album they have. It's got a lot of power. It's the fucking wall of sound. Being Steve and Troy and the rest of the guys, Adolfo and all those guys, were just, I mean, a really, really surprising album for me for 2021. I mean, they really pulled all the stops. So, Wrath of the Bastard from Cavebastard, probably one of those. And the newer Unanimated, which I haven't listened to, but I'm sure I'm going to love because I love that band. But so far, those 2 for sure would have been thrown in there.
What about you, Eric?
There was one. It did move in and out of my list a couple times. A band called Mariana's Rest. Melodic death doom. Think draconian. Very, very melodic. Female vocals, the oohs and ahs in the background. So that almost made it.
For me, I had a whole bunch. Like the new Hooded Menace, I really liked. The new Spectral Wound. Even though I'm not in love with it, the new Hypocrisy I still enjoy.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay.
The new Habakunu EP and the new Iron Maiden. There was a lot. I could have done a top 20 pretty easily. But what fun is that? What about you, V? You got anything that you just couldn't fit into a top 10?
I had some other ones on there that I thought maybe were probably more normal or something, like not exactly were my favorite that I would have picked, but something like a Hypocrisy, Carcass. There's Asphyx. There's a couple of other ones out there.
Yeah, the new Carcass. If you're looking at anybody else's list, Carcass is up there for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of surprising that none of us picked them on our top 10. And I don't know what it is. I think for me, it's just it didn't really have anything memorable or their sound is kind of getting boring. I don't know.
I heard it a couple times and nothing really caught my ear to say. I mean, at least the previous album, which was I forget the name of it, at least it had a couple songs that I kind of enjoyed. And this one, it was kind of like, okay. It's Carcass. I mean, it's new Carcass, so it's nothing memorable for sure.
Yeah.
Another one I really, really wanted to like a lot was KK's Priest too, which was cool. It's good.
I actually enjoyed that album. Not one of my favorites, but for me, a first effort, it was really good. I mean, I found myself. It's got some catchy tunes in it. Ripper Owens is in it, which I like how he sings, and it was. It doesn't sound like Judas Priest for sure, but it is. It's got that classic heavy metal element that I think people would enjoy. Not one of my favorites, but one of those that I did like 3 or 4 songs out of it. So.
For the Carcass, I gotta be honest, I was not interested in it at all.
Yeah.
It just zero interest. But I'm trying to remember, did Incantation put out an album this year?
Was it I think it was this year, wasn't
Vile
it?
Dissect,
Or was it last year?
I want to say it was early this year.
Could have been.
Yeah. Vile Sect
Of Divinities.
Of Divinities, yes. Also, I think they're on a Mexico tour right now.
Mm-hmm.
Was it this year? I can't
I don't
remember.
know.
But actually, that album was
The
good.
years go
Yeah.
by so different. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good album.
Well, that's the downside of releasing an album early in the year. Is
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You forget, and that's why you kind of see like a rush. I don't know if this is the reason, but you see a rush of bands putting out albums at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like my list, it's like half of it was almost most of it is the second half of the year when I would put everything out. The Frozen Soul album feels like it was years ago, but it was like earlier this year.
Yeah, it's one of those things when stuff comes out early in the year, you forget about it. I mean, I forgot a lot about these albums that came out earlier until I actually went through the list. I'm like, okay, yeah, that did come out fucking February, March, or whatever. Yeah. And you're like, okay, yeah, that was a great album. But it's hard to do that when there's so much shit that came out, which I would guess that the pandemic had something to do with it. The bands actually did have some time.
Stuff was delayed, and maybe the record factories were backed up. And
Yeah, and I noticed like a lot of the bands that put out albums this year were 35 years old or older.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think that's like happens every year, or just like this year was an anomaly? I just don't remember a year where it was like this many old farts putting out albums.
I think the pandemic definitely had something to do with it, especially with those older bands that normally are touring during the summer with all the Euro festivals. Instead of that, they kind of buckled down and created some music, which
recorded
in some places, like in some instances like Halloween, it was amazing and it came out really good with some of the Iron Maiden stuff, and it made bands kind of go back to, hey, shit, we should record an album. We got nothing else better to do, so I think that had something to do with it.
what about albums you guys are looking forward to that they didn't come out yet?
Good question.
I don't know. I was looking forward to a new Devin Townsend album, and he put out 2 of them, and they're all ambient albums, and I'm like, fuck. It's like 2 instrumental albums in the same day. Like, I don't want. This is not what I want.
I saw that new Immolation video.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds like it could be.
I'm excited for that one for sure.
Their last album was like one of their best.
Yeah,
It was insane.
Fucking fantastic.
Dark Throne, I hated it, the last album.
That came out this year too, right?
Yeah, it did.
I thought it was okay. It was
The production was so bad.
a serviceable album. I don't know. I don't think the production's ever good.
It was worse than
It's not
ever.
supposed to be.
The other newer ones I've been wanting is like Merciful Fate, I've been saying, right? And King Diamond.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Merciful Fate.
Well, King Diamond came out with that new song, but that was it.
That's like 2 years ago already.
I know.
1 year ago.
Oh shit, that's been a while. Definitely looking for the new Immolation. Forward to that for sure.
I second that.
Yeah, I don't know anything that's coming out, so I'm not looking forward to any of it.
I gotta look at my pre-order list to sit.
Oh, shit.
See what I got pre-ordered.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot coming out. I mean, nothing comes out between now and basically the middle of January, usually.
Yeah.
Traditionally.
Favorite album for this year?
The Halloween.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Stormkeep.
Stormkeep. Okay. Beat.
Yeah, my number one, like I said earlier, the Necromantia.
Necromancer. Cool. For me, it's between 1914 and Curse of Autumn by Witherfall. But I think I stick with 1914 because that was just it came out of nowhere for me for sure.
Yeah, they've been around for a little bit, right? This is their third album, I think.
Third or fourth.
Yeah.
Third or fourth.
I never heard of them.
Yeah.
Some will happen.
Probably something.
The new Gojira and Mastodon.
Yeah. Oh, I'll comment on those because I normally like those bands. The new Mastodon double album. Don't do them. Don't do them.
Really? Okay.
Double sticker.
Yeah. Don't do double albums.
Okay.
The new Gojira, it's like I like the band and the album is good, but not as far as for them, it's not a good album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's just I don't know. It's just not pounding enough like their old stuff.
Not as good as a new Limp Bizkit.
I haven't heard that.
Well, there was a new Limp Bizkit album,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was like Limp Bizkit Still Sucks or something weird.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And like they're getting sucked up with a vacuum and shit.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I can't believe I know that and you know that.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Oh yeah, Unleashed. That's the one I wanted to include in my list. Sorry. I'm all like, "Bleh," finally woke up.
Primordial came out with an album.
No.
Did they?
Yeah.
This year?
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. They
I'm
came
gonna
out with
Google
an
that
album.
shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What's it called? It might be a. Oh, you know what it is? It's a live recording in Germany somewhere.
Is it?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it came out, and it came out of Brazil, but it's a live recording in Germany somewhere.
Oh, okay.
That's the last thing I saw, which was just recent, like this past month.
At the Gates.
Oh
That was
New at
one
the
that
Gates.
was on my list earlier too.
At the Gates.
I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of live albums, were there any live albums this year that was released? That you liked?
I'm kind of out of that game anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Just don't do it for you.
just that. I loved them like before I was like when I was really young. I couldn't go to shows, and now I'm just like, yeah, fake crowd noise and shit. So at the Gates, Cradle of Filth put out a new album this year. It was actually pretty good. I thought it was like the first good album they've had in quite a while. And I was able to go to their show here, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah, you were telling us it was really good.
Really good show.
Yeah, I haven't seen Cradle of Filth since 2015 or 13, I think.
Played the whole Cruelty of the Beast album, which was great.
Oh, that's a great album. Yeah, that's probably my favorite Cradle of Filth album. Tell us what your favorite Cradle of Filth album is. Or tell us the fuck off about Cradle of Filth. It's one of those bands that you kind of get lost. They get lost for a little bit, then they come back, and then they get lost, and it's like, oh shit, they're still around.
I've also seen them live. It's fucking a real sight. It's those guys are pros.
And I think they get a lot of undue shit.
Yeah.
I mean, they could be cheesy, a little corny here and there, but once you get past the corniness, there is some good music in there.
So
Yeah, they're good at what they do too.
yeah.
I think it's one of those bands that got super big for a certain point in time, and people just started shitting on them, and then they kind of went away, and then like a lot of bands, they start getting too big for their bitches, and people start trying to shoot them down. Kind of like Behemoth, you know, maybe 5-6 years ago were just like the biggest thing ever, and people start shitting on that, which is, I mean, come on, fuck it, man. It's if it's good music, it's good music.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Cannibal Corpse too. They were that's another band that got shit on, and that's on your top 10.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's
Any shows you guys looking forward to? I mean, me and Vince got tickets to the Maiden show. That's not till October, but
the Devastation on the Nation with Borknagar and Ronnie Price coming to Brick by Brick, I think.
if it happens.
Yeah, I know, right? I think it's going to be in March or April.
Yeah.
Might be April.
Saw the Adrian Smith is coming to San Diego.
Yeah, I saw that
Oh,
too.
yeah. Smith and Cotton.
With Richie Kotzen.
Yeah, with Richie Cotton.
And so is Bruce Dickinson.
Yes.
Oh, his spoken word. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
To the Balboa Theater, right?
Yeah.
What about Dream Theater?
Oh,
right?
not for me, but yeah.
For you? Okay.
Definitely not for me either. I mean,
if
if
one
you want to take a
this year
nap.
too, didn't they?
They did do a new album.
Yeah, they did.
Are
heard it
you
yet.
planning to go to that?
I might. It's a little too expensive for me,
Yeah.
but it's the tickets are pretty expensive, so I'll have to see.
Is that the Magnolia? Right?
Yes.
The Magnolia, if you have a band, there isn't a bad seat in that whole
Yeah,
place.
that's a great venue. Good sound too.
Saw King Diamond there, and it was amazing.
El de Miola, I saw there too.
Okay.
Obituary's coming February or
Oh
March.
yeah, to the music
The
box.
music box.
Yeah.
With Gate Creeper or Gate is it Gate Creeper, right?
Gate Creeper.
Gate Creeper and not nuclear.
Toxic Holocaust.
Not Toxic. Is it Toxic Holocaust? The other one. Fuck. I forget their name. And they play everywhere.
Havoc.
too. Not Havoc. The other one. One of the other newer thrash bands that play everywhere. Anyways, if you know what it is. Oh wait, whatever. But
down below.
Obituary would be fucking cool. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
find it.
I might have to go to the Psycho Las Vegas and see Merciful Fate again.
Oh.
Oh, they are gonna play Psycho Las Vegas this coming year. Okay. That's a good festival. I mean, if it happens, of course. Everything's kind of up in the air. It's kind of weird.
Saw some European bands already canceling from the California Death Fest.
Yeah, Necrophobic.
And,
Unfortunately, couldn't get their visas squared away. So, yeah, that's always a problem.
It's a weird time. I imagine bands like Iron Maiden won't have a problem with that.
When you got that type of
It's
money,
like the rich bands are fine. Yeah.
you probably have contact at the Department of Justice or whatever,
Shit.
where you
Yeah.
can just go like, "Oh, Maiden's coming, yeah, let them in."
Because Bruce is a pilot. He'll just
Was
like, he can stamp his own shit. you know?
Yeah. Maryland Death Fest in May.
That lineup's insane. I really want
That
to
is
go.
a super stacked lineup.
That lineup's insane.
it's too good where I can't imagine all those bands are really going to play.
Well, you can't catch them all. Yeah.
Why? There's so many European
They're like
bands.
Pokemon? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I was hoping somebody would catch them actually. That one and Mexico Metal Fest is
Yeah.
pretty stacked as well. Dismember, Hellhammer.
Yeah, I'm going to that Hell's Heroes one, and
Oh yeah,
that's in
Texas, right?
in Houston. So that's a pretty good lineup.
Eternal Champion and
Yeah, whole bunch of bands.
Their new singer, you like their new singer?
Eternal Champions new singer.
I think you might be thinking of. God damn it! They just changed sing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Glory
Yeah.
Hammer.
Glory
Oh,
Hammer.
Glory
yeah.
Hammer. Yeah.
How is the new singer?
I haven't heard.
I haven't heard either. That'll be a good surprise.
I'm sure he sucks compared to the last singer, though.
That's right.
You can't just replace somebody like that.
No, of course not.
Angus McFive?
Dude,
The third.
the 30th. Can't replace that guy just like that.
Only if Brian did vocals, then they could.
There you go.
Call me up.
Glory Hammer. If you're looking for a third singer.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd fit in the old costume, but you know, you can make a new one. You know.
Yeah. All right, we're getting stupid.
Yeah. Should we cut it off here? We good?
Yeah. Well, give us your top 10. Till next time, for Brian, Vince, Eric, Israel. Metal Swap Talk. We'll see you later.